Donald Mars is running for his life all the way to the Pacific Ocean. Donald has lymphoma, cancer of the lymph nodes. He found out last year. He wanted to do something with the rest of his life, to make a stand against cancer. He decided to run and walk from Illinois to the Pacific Ocean to continue the trek Canadian cancer victim Terry Fox started, but never finished. Donald Mars is determined to make it, even if he has to walk the whole way, to complete the task he's given himself.
I've got a few reasons that I'm doing it. Number one is I feel like God's been very good to me in my life, and this is an opportunity for me to glorify His name. Number two is that I hope very much to touch a few people's lives along the way. And number three is I want very badly to encourage people to contribute to the American Cancer Society.
Chemotherapy weakened his physique, blisters slow his pace. But Donald Mars is going to make it to the ocean. He's got God on his side. Sue Lauer, Action 4. Choosing a vitamin supplement can be confusing. You almost need an expert to tell you what dosage is right for you, not to mention what vitamins you need or don't need. There's a vitamin for virtually every letter of the alphabet, and someone willing to sell it to you. Vitamin popping probably won't hurt you, but it may not help you either. The key word is moderation.
We don't try to start anybody out with a large amount or a huge potency of anything. We try to start them out low, gradually build up. Each person's different, so each person needs to find out what their limit is on each item or each vitamin.
The other side of the coin is diet therapy. Vitamins exist in everything we eat, so some nutritionists say we should change our diets to incorporate foods high in natural vitamins instead of munching cheeseburgers and vitamin C tablets. It takes a change in your lifestyle and an open-mindedness to work a little bit harder for good health.
People don't want to take responsibility for their own health. They want to come in to a health store owner or someone who works there, and they want them to prescribe. They want them to have that magic pill that the doctor used to give them, because that's the easy way. Although it may have taken 35 years to get the condition that they have, they want it over with overnight.
For most of us, the answer to good nutrition is not just in our diet or just in vitamin supplements. The answer is in education. There are a lot of books in the public library which can teach you about a better diet or about vitamin supplements. That way you can determine what regime is best for you to make you as healthy as you can be. For Medical Matters, Sue Lauer, Action 4. It takes a lot of practice to learn a new skill. Archery is one of the toughest. But these kids have had to learn something even tougher: how to live with asthma. Every one of them has serious asthma problems. Some must sleep with expensive breathing equipment within reach, just in case. But when you watch them play, it's easy to forget those things. They're happy kids, active and intelligent. They'd like to forget those problems too, but reminders come often.
Come here!
Medicine time, every day, every night for some kids. They take it like soldiers, waking up at midnight to swallow that important pill or even administer an injection. They're learning to live with asthma and with themselves. That's what camp is all about.
They really can't be treated any different. They're no different. They just have this disease that we call asthma, but it doesn't really affect them, and it shouldn't affect them, and they need to recognize that. Many of them feel ashamed about having it. Many of them feel that they need to be, they can't participate in other activities with their children, other children, but they can.
Check the ones that irritate you or make you wheeze.
Along with the fun comes some real learning. The kids sit down with special textbooks to learn all about asthma, how it happens, and what they can do to make living with it easier. Some kids are fascinated. They know as much about asthma as any doctor. That's not really surprising when you think about it, because these kids want to understand their problems and themselves.
Well, I think I like all learning about our asthma and insides of us and the activities.
Oh, sometimes like you're off spending the night at your friend's house and something, and you just kind of start wheezing and you don't want to call your parents or something, or you're afraid to. So you just kind of learn how to take care of yourself and you can figure out your own problem.
Just take a look at the different aspirin products on the market. Buffered, non-buffered, pills, capsules, extra strength, even non-aspirin aspirin. Basically, it's all the same stuff. Aspirin is a corrosive. It can literally eat holes in your stomach. Despite advertising claims, buffered aspirin really isn't any better for your stomach, because once you swallow it, it becomes plain old regular aspirin, eating away your headache and your stomach lining. So what's the difference?
Well, basically the difference is advertisement and cost. Buffered aspirin is no advantage because as soon as the aspirin hits the stomach, it's instantly changed into the same substance. So what you really are saying when you need aspirin is that you need aspirin. And any aspirin that you buy at the drugstore will do the same exact service as far as your body's concerned.
Remember, take 2 aspirins and call me in the morning? Well, some researchers think those aspirins may help cut down on heart disease. The results aren't all in, and there are some serious side effects involved with constant aspirin munching. But when used in conjunction with other heart medications, aspirin can help cut down on heart attacks.
I don't think that you can really say that by taking aspirin at the present time that we have evidence that makes a difference of having a heart attack or not having a heart attack. I think that we just can't really tell you that everyone who would take 2 aspirin a day would not have a heart attack. That would seem a little bit strong.
Computers have become a part of our everyday lives. Here at the Breast Cancer Screening Center in Oklahoma City, a computer is saving lives. Information on every patient is coded and sent through a special computer. That computer is linked to a new machine which can detect breast cancer years before conventional methods. It's called the Computer Infrared Scanner System, and it detects abnormalities in the breast by measuring tissue temperature. The scanner takes 40,000 separate temperature readings of each breast without any danger to the patient from radiation. With this tool, doctors are no longer reluctant to run more tests on a high-risk patient, and the patient doesn't have to submit herself to dangerous levels of radiation, which in themselves could cause cancer. Instead of relying on a foggy X-ray and a good guess, doctors now have a computer analysis which points out the danger areas, hotspots, which could mean cancer. Infrared mammography can detect minute changes in the breast long before they could be caught by physical exam, and early detection saves lives.
That's the ultimate application for this infrared technique that we're discussing here today, is to use it
to screen the total population. And by total population, of course, we're talking about 40 million women in America that should have an annual breast examination. This infrared technique is totally safe. It is relatively inexpensive, and it doesn't take a very long period of time to get the information.
Infrared mammography is still in the research stage, but already it's proven to be one of the most effective tools for the early detection of breast cancer. Doctors here hope to have more machines like this installed all across the country, so American women can have a fighting chance against breast cancer. Sue Lauer, Action 4.
Well, Jim, how you feeling?
Jim Lee's pain therapy starts in a small, quiet room. He's here to talk, and Judy London is here to listen. Judy and other specialists at Mercy Health Center are dealing with chronic pain, pain that keeps people from living their normal lives. Jim has cancer, and other pain therapies just weren't working, so he came here for help, and it's changed his life.
Now, this particular situation that I had became worse and worse and worse. Became increasingly debilitating. It affected my, entire lifestyle, frankly. I'm still having some problem, but as I said, I'm, about 90% home.
We take these people, take a complete history, find out everything that has worked, everything that has not worked, every kind of drug or other thing that will help them relieve the pain. And then with the patient in mind and with the patient in charge, I might say, we construct a pain management plan.
It may take months to find a combination of medication and therapy that relieves the pain. Even then, some patients can build up a tolerance to the drugs, and then pain specialists have to start from scratch again. Even so, the Mercy Pain Management Team is getting a grip on pain and helping patients like Jim Lee's get a grip on life. Sue Lauer, Action 4.
My natural
This is a miracle machine. It's a hemodialysis unit, an artificial kidney. These patients have renal failure. Their kidneys can't filter poisons out of their body. Without these machines, they die. Frances Klein drives all the way from Ponca City twice a week. The drive doesn't bother her. It's saving her life.
My daughter and I came in the emergency room here. I was so sick. And I saw Dr. King, and he said, I asked him what could be done for me. And he said, if you go on dialysis, you may live 5 years, but if you don't, you may not live 5 days. Because I was very ill. And naturally, I'm going to choose living 5 years.
Polluted blood is drawn out of the patient and into the machine. The rate of flow is constantly monitored. So is blood temperature and pressure. Then the blood flows through a mass of hollow perforated fibers. The red blood cells can't fit through the tiny perforations, but the toxins carried in the blood can. They're washed away, and the newly cleaned blood is returned to the patient. It all takes about 4 hours, a long time to sit still with needles in both arms. But for these patients, there isn't much choice.
Some patients really are not candidates for kidney transplants, either because of age, because of other disease processes that are ongoing. Other patients who are waiting for kidney transplants are just waiting for a transplant to become available that is a good match for them. And we have no way to predict how soon or how long it might take for someone to get a kidney transplant. So really it is a life-saving procedure for those patients.
The TV room at the Williams house serves more than one purpose. 3 times a week, Jeannie Williams opens this closet door and begins her exacting routine. Her husband Bill has kidney disease, and the idea of going to the hospital several times a week for treatments didn't sit well with the Williams. So Jeannie trained at a local hospital so she could do the procedure at home, and she handles it like a pro. Jeannie does some special things they don't do at the hospital. She cleans everything twice and runs a special check on every system to make sure nothing goes wrong. She's in charge here, and her husband feels good about that.
No, it's great. At the hospital, you know, you have to do all the waiting and see other people that's bad. And here, well, I can watch my television, do it when it's convenient, and it's just so much better. And I get so much better care, too, you know.
Better care means a lot to Jeannie Williams, too. She can be sure Bill's dialysis is going just right, and that he has everything he needs because she does it all herself. Jeannie wasn't sure at first if she could handle the responsibility of her husband's life, but she learned, and now she wouldn't give it up for anything.
I would rather not even have done this today. I do not feel capable even yet, nor do I feel like that I have done anything great in accomplishment. But I just, again, am trying to help him in the best way that we know possible.
For the next couple of hours, while a kidney dialysis machine filters his blood, Bill Williams can sit back in his favorite chair, watch a little TV, and relax in his own home, thanks to a portable kidney dialysis machine and a loving wife. For Medical Matters, Sue Lauer, Action 4. Laboratory rats can be trained to do a lot of things. Here at the OU Health Sciences Center, they're taught to distinguish between caffeine and a placebo. Researchers are trying to find a link between the behavioral situation and the effects of caffeine upon rats and people. The rat must first be able to recognize that he has been injected with caffeine and not a placebo, and then respond appropriately. Rats feel the effects of caffeine just like you feel the effects of a few cups of coffee. Rats express the sensation by tapping a press bar. Once the rat can distinguish between caffeine and a placebo, he can tell researchers if a different drug makes him feel like caffeine or the placebo. Researchers found that caffeine did indeed stimulate the animals, and that the harder the task, the greater effect caffeine had upon the rat's response. But there are still a lot of unanswered questions.
One thing we would like to know is how in the world does caffeine do what it does? And there are some ideas that caffeine may act to selectively block certain transmitters or certain chemicals in the brain, and that's how it produces its stimulatory effects. That's one question which we're trying to address. Another is that while people will generally recognize that caffeine has some effect in the sense that people will drink their cup of coffee or drink their cola beverage or something, we don't really know what the consequences of long-term exposure to caffeine might be.
Computer analysis can help answer some of those questions, but research is far from complete. For now, scientists can say that caffeine has particular effects upon several parts of the body, but it will take a lot more work to discover how or why. For Medical Matters, Sue Lauer, Action 4.
Hi, Denise.
Hi. Denise's physician is not a medical doctor. He's a chiropractor, and he practices holistic medicine. Denise has some problems with her body's alignment. One leg seems shorter than the other. It isn't really. Denise's pelvis just has a tendency to shift out of place, so Dr. Bowers puts it back.
Okay, you remember from your last time here, Denise, that your left leg in this position is longer than the right. The right leg is 3/4 of an inch short, and we're going to go ahead and adjust that now.
Dr. Bowers has been working with Denise for years. He knows just what kind of an adjustment to make. It all happens with a crack and the blink of an eye. Dr. Bowers works on other areas of the body too, making sure all the nerves and bones are properly aligned. It's like giving a car a tune-up. Dr. Bowers doesn't use drugs with his patients. He and other adherents of holistic health care believe that nutrition, positive attitude, and responsibility about your body can get you healthy and keep you healthy. Of course, some problems do require other treatment, but Dr. Bowers lives by the old adage that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
We're into more of a preventative scope, like preventative medicine is coming along. Chiropractic has been doing preventative things ever since its inception in 1895. So we're into the whole person approach, which is what holistic really means, as opposed to just treating a person as a sick pancreas or a sick liver or a backache per se.
Nutrition is the cornerstone of holistic medicine. Dr. Bowers prescribes diets and foods like a medical doctor prescribes pills. A simple change of habit can do a lot to get you healthy, and holistic medicine, mind and body, can keep you healthy. Diet drugs are found in almost every grocery store. Anyone can buy them, even children. The drugs aren't harmful when taken in moderation, but doctors and pharmacists have questioned their effectiveness as an aid to weight loss. Most contain caffeine and phenylpropanolamine, a common hunger suppressant. Kids have found that taking several capsules can produce an amphetamine-like high. So tablets are purchased by the bagload, then resold on the street as real amphetamines. Most kids can't tell the difference. All they can tell is that they're speeding and asking for some serious medical problems.
The biggest problem is most of the over-the-counter prescription aids, as far as the diet control things, contain caffeine plus something called phenylpropanolamine. It's a decongestant. Okay, the trouble with the decongestant is if you take too much of it, you can elevate your blood pressure. Caffeine is the same sort of stimulant you find in coffee, tea, Coke. Okay, and when you take too much of this, you can cause problems by irritability, nervousness, excitability. But another thing is that when you have too much caffeine, it also causes your stomach to put out too much acid. And so what happens is you run into problems with ulcers.
The abuse of over-the-counter diet drugs like these is a medical problem, but it's also a law enforcement problem. It is a misdemeanor to purchase drugs like these for the intent of illegal distribution, but the real problem is enforcement of the law. It's difficult to tell if a child who's buying diet drugs intends to use and abuse them himself or just take them home to mom. For Medical Matters, Sue Lauer, Action 4.